If you feel tired all the time, it might be the way you think. So most people don't realize that thinking and their physical wellness are related, but they are. So when the way we think influences how we feel physically in this way. So a lot of us spend time worrying, stressing, thinking that things need to be better, thinking that we don't have enough, thinking that we need to get XYZ in order to be okay, blah, 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 right? And so these thoughts, they have an influence on the body. When we think these types of kind of scarcity danger thoughts, it typically triggers a stress response in the body. So it leads to activation of the HPA axis and to a sympathetic response. This means that the body is kind of in that fight, flight, freeze mode, and then it results in the body having a stress response. So when the body has a stress response, it typically then leads to potential chronic inflammation. And so when the body feels that it is in danger because we're thinking danger thoughts, so not enough, not safe, worrying about horrible things happening in the future, these danger thoughts lead to danger responses in the body. When we have danger responses in the body, this means that the body will activate an immune response that is indicative of danger. So why does the body do this? Like, why does the body go into an inflammatory response when we sense danger or when we think thoughts of danger? The reason for this is because historically, I think about like 80% of human deaths were because of bacterial infection. So before we had cities and industry and all of this, we didn't have the ability to fight bacterial infection. And evolutionarily speaking, the idea is that we needed to activate our immune response and put it into this like activated state in order to be hypervigilant for bacterial infection in order to survive. And so when the immune system is activated like this, and when it's activated for a long time, we call it chronic inflammation, it means that essentially the immune system is running a process that basically is its main objective is to fight bacteria. And when it runs this process, when it activates, we typically don't feel well. We feel tired, we feel achy, we feel like kind of like that like sick feeling, like when you have a viral infection or when you're like fighting off some type of cold, you typically don't feel well. And that's the feeling of inflammation. That's the feeling of an immune system activation. And so when we sense danger in the mind, this can have the kind of subsequent effect of activating that immune response and then therefore activating that extreme tiredness that we often feel when the immune system is activated. And the reason for this is because of the evolutionary aspect of the bacterial infection being a very high risk for humans historically. And so this is why the body does it. Is it helpful these days? Probably not. But again, evolution takes many, many, many years to kind of change the way we work. And so these days, when we're thinking our danger thoughts, worry, fear, comparison, not good enough, whatever, it's activating this response. And then therefore it's activating our immune system and it's making us super tired. And so what do we do about this? Well, we can actually change the way we think. So for most of us, we do have this negativity bias in the mind that kind of sees the glass as half empty. It sees more danger than safety. But we can actually train ourselves to perceive what we have and perceive all of the signs of safety that exist in our lives. Because we actually know that these days, for most people, we're living in a time of safety that's never even been seen historically. And so we have more reasons to feel safe than ever before, but for whatever reason, we're not able to sense that safety. So we need to be able to train ourselves to perceive the safety and to perceive the things we have in order to not trigger the inflammatory response and lead to these like chronic states of inflammation, which then make us feel horrible and super tired. And then we're like drinking gallons of coffee because we're exhausted. And a lot of people don't know this, so just be careful what you think. And if you're someone that does have a lot of kind of danger thoughts, it's important to start training yourself to see the safety that exists in your life, because there's always going to be clues of safety and there's always going to be clues of danger. But if you're able to see the clues of safety, you're able to remain in that calm physical and mental response, and then you're not going to go into that inflammatory response that will eventually make you exhausted. I know this is a long video. Please post your questions in the comments, because I know this is kind of a unusual topic, and I'll try to answer them the best I can.